We were able to take shelter at the hospital for a week after giving birth. Since the hospital was at the capacity, my brother-in-law arranged to put a bed in a storage room for us. Once I regained my strength, my brother-in-law insisted that we stay at his house because it was not safe for us to go back to our apartment. We did not know what a safe place was anymore. Curfews were in place, lights were to be kept turned off to make the place look vacant and avoid getting any attention from the military patrolling the streets. All the men in the house told the women not to go near windows due to fear of being captured and taken to West Pakistan headquarters, where many were tortured and raped. We spent 9 long months living with my brother-in-law with his family. In December of 1971, my brother-in-law rushed home to tell us that his and my husband's names were on the list of professionals that were to be killed. We needed to move to another hiding place and there was no time to waste. I was able to grab only one pot of baby formula and a couple of baby clothing. We were not able to pack anything for ourselves. As we were getting ready to leave my brother-in-law's house, our son developed a high fever. My brother-in-law suggested taking the baby to a Red Cross clinic. I was able to take shelter there until my son recovered. I slept on the floor next to my son's crib for 9 days. My husband often brought stale bread when he could stop by to check on our son's health. My brother-in-law knew that hospitals were safe havens, so he arranged for him and my husband to hide at another medical building where he practiced. The genocide of the Bengali population by the Pakistan army forced many to flee to Indian borders to seek refuge. The Indian government decided to intervene and help the Bengali nationalists of East Pakistan fight for their independence. On December 3, 1971, the Indo-Pakistani War began when the Pakistan Air Force bombed the Indian troops at the border. All we could hear were the bombings, fighter jets, sirens, and people screaming. Through this, we tried to keep our newborn quiet. After 13 days, the Indian Army defeated the Pakistan Army. East Pakistan changed its name to Republic of Bangladesh. The war created enormous devastation. It was very difficult to find food, medicines, and basic necessities. My husband stood in long lines for hours to get food. The poverty rate increased because people did not have jobs to help provide for their families. Feeling hopeless about the economic situation of Bangladesh, I told my husband that we needed to move to another country for a better future. He applied for a teaching position at many universities in different countries around the world and finally got accepted in Venezuela. While waiting for our visas, our eldest daughter was born in November of 1975. In March 1976, we moved to Venezuela with a 4-year-old and a 5-month-old baby. The Universidad de Oriente in Cumana, Venezuela, gave my husband 3 months to learn Spanish in order to teach classes. His Spanish improved so much that students would later often ask him to revise their research papers. My husband was elected by his colleagues to be the head of the chemistry department and later became the director of the postgraduate program. We made ourselves at home very quickly in Cumana, which is a small coastal city in the northeast region of Venezuela. Every time I opened our windows, the cool breeze of the Caribbean Sea would fill our apartment. We were blessed with our youngest daughter, who was born in April 1981. After my children finished elementary school, I became a business owner. It was a small tourist souvenir shop located in a historical area in town. I would travel all around Venezuela a few times a year to meet local artisans and buy typical items from different regions around the country. We sold pottery from the northern region, handmade hammocks from the indigenous people of Amazon, mats and rugs from Andes region of Venezuela, handmade dolls from the coastal regions, fine hand-blown glasses and crystal pieces, and even baked goods. There were things to cater to all ages and tastes. It was fun to interact with international tourists and locals. One of the most fulfilling duties I had in Cumana was my service to Rotary Club. Our team organized and delivered food, medicine, school supplies, and other basic necessities to the less fortunate. The highlight of our year was to work with the Rotaplas team from the United States of America for the Cleft Palette project. As soon as we finished each project, we would start fundraising for the following year. I would personally contact friends that own businesses to become sponsors. They were so kind that none of them ever refused to help. Thanks to the generosity, I received an award several times for raising the most money. More than my award, the biggest reward was to see all the beautiful smiles on the children's faces. In 1999, Hugo Chavez became the president of Venezuela. His political views aligned with Cuban dictator Fidel and Raúl Castro, so much that he turned one of the richest nations in South America into one of the poorest. Chavez opposed the United States government policies so much that it caused all American companies to leave Venezuela. It became very difficult to find medication, food, and other basic necessities. People started losing their jobs and couldn't afford to support their families, so many decided to leave the country. Due to political unrest and economic problem in Venezuela, my eldest daughter insisted that my husband and I live with her in the United States. After 5 years of paperwork and multiple applications, we finally obtained our green cards and moved to Troy in November 2017. We greatly miss our home and friends in Venezuela, but are blessed to closer to our children and 3 beautiful granddaughters. One of the things I missed the most was my Rotary Club service. So my daughter got in touch with the Troy Rotary Club. She felt that it would be a good way for me to spend time with other people that shared similar interests. I will always remember the warm welcome from all my fellow Rotarians here when I first met you at Gran Castor 2 years ago. Everyone was so welcoming to our family that I felt like I had known you for years. I am forever grateful to our club president, Mr. Bala Murthy, for sponsoring me and allowing me to be part of this family. Our organization is blessed with a very dedicated leadership and caring members that work hard to help make the world a better place. I would like to finish by quoting my mother. To live a life with purpose is to give back to community. Thank you.
Wow, Fouzia, that was awesome. Thank you so much. I actually had tears in my eyes listening to your story. So two reasons. One was because my family also experienced the same thing, but leaving from western side of India, Pakistan, what was now Pakistan, to India. And I've heard all the stories from my dad and my grandparents and all that. So totally understand. And even when since I was born in India, I remember Pakistan warplanes flying over India, and we had to hide in the ditches. And I was only 2 years old at that time. I still remember that. So I can, as an adult, I can only understand the experience. So a couple of questions on the, and by the way, you did a great job reading, and your English was spectacular. So very good job.
Thank you.
What is a rotoplast? I've not heard of a
rotoplast. It's a American team. Most of the doctors, nurses, and some volunteers. Now they go different places in South America, sometimes in Colombia, Panama. They go everywhere in South America. So they do their surgery for 10 days. Sometimes 30 doctors used to come and nurses. They stayed 10 days, and from morning to 8 o'clock in the 8 p.m., they used to finish their surgery from the morning. So I worked with them from the morning 7 to 8 p.m. in the night in the hospital. So sometimes 300 or more than 400 children used to come for surgery. So every year they used to come to Venezuela. I worked with them 7 years.
Okay, great, thank you. Kamal, you have your hand up. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Rotaplus team always, Chevron, Texaco, and Toyota also sponsored them.
Okay, thank you, Fouzia. Kamal, you had your hand up. You have a question?
Yes, yes. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay, okay. You know, Fauzia's story is very, very exciting, and it tells us a story how many of us foreign-born, we go through the hoops to come to America because America is the greatest country in the world. And my message is for those who are born here in America, they really feel they should be blessed because, you know, they're born here. I mean, they don't have to go through the ropes as many of us do to come here. And obviously that's why we love the country so much.
Yeah, great point, Kamal. Absolutely. Thank you. Let's see. How did you become a Rotarian in Venezuela?
When I was asking my friends if there is any Rotary Club in Cumana. It was a small city. So they told that maybe soon they will open Rotary Club here. So after they opened the first Rotary Club in Cumana, so I asked my friend, how can I be a member there? And I'm so much interested to be a Rotary member. So she told that you can't enter that I want to be a Rotarian so fast. You have to work 2 years as a volunteer with Rotary Club. So I started volunteering with them almost 2 years. Used to go different places, taking medicine and food. Then after I finished 2 years, Rotary member and the president, they told that now I can be a Rotary member. So one day they came to our house and to see my family, how many family members and how I am living there, lot of questions. And then they decided that now it's time to be a Rotary member for me. So one day there was a big gala dinner. There they put my first pin. It is, I started actually as a volunteer 2010. Then 2012, they put my first pin. That
Great.
I was a Rotarian that time.
So you got interested in Rotary, I think you said, because your mother was a Rotarian? Is that
Yeah.
correct?
My father also, my brother also.
Oh, so family of Rotarians. Awesome.
Yeah. And my mother also, she was a president of All Pakistan Women's Association. There we used to volunteering also with my mother.
Okay. And there's a question also from Marianne. Can you talk about leaving Venezuela and what did you leave behind and kind of the experience of that for a minute?
Venezuela?
Yes. So when you left, you had a business and all that, right?
No, I closed my business a few years back before coming.
What did you leave
I was
behind?
happy with my Rotary Club, and problem was there was no food, no medicine. And my husband, he takes a lot of medicine after his stroke. So my daughter, she used to send his medicine from Italy to Spain, Spain to Venezuela, long way. So sometimes we got our medicine so late, and I was very worried what will happen if he can't take medicine. Sometimes I used to go to grocery shop morning 8 o'clock. I used to come 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the afternoon because of the long queue. And sometimes they used to give us 1 packet of rice, 1 packet of pasta, 1 bottle of, for 1 month, 1 bottle of oil, cooking oil. And it was so difficult. If we go to bank, so I have to go morning and coming back in the afternoon. So people used to buy small chairs sitting there when they will call us inside the bank. So it was so difficult, and I was all the time thinking how I will get food and medicine. That was my anxiety.
So, and I believe you were one of the last people to be able to flee out of Venezuela before they closed.
My daughter applied for our immigration, no? So I thought maybe it will take more years. All of a sudden, 2017, my daughter called me that immigration office told that I have to leave the country within 10 days. So I didn't get so much time to sell my house, my things, everything is there. So I have one friend, she's taking care of my house, my things, but I don't know I can go in future there. Because if somebody is going from America, they will think I have a lot of dollars and, they attack people, they kill people now. So,
yeah, I understand. Okay, so I see a few more comments and questions from Michael Caruso. Read that the situation in Venezuela is terrible right now. Inflation is something like 10,000%. That's probably right, I imagine, based on just what I've read. Are there any other questions, either live or in the chat, that I may have missed? Okay. Fouzia, you did a fabulous job.
I have one question.
Yes. Yes, President.
So Fouzia, your mother was a great influence on you. Please elaborate.
Yes. She was a great social worker. She was a writer, social worker, and
Okay.
good mother also.
Of course.
Excellent mother, taking care all of us 7 children, not easy.
Hey, any other questions or comments for Fouzia?
I had a question and comment.
Yes, Ashok.
Sorry about that earlier. I was sitting at my cousin's home and one cat was going on the tree.
Oh, that was you. Okay.
I'm so sorry. It's so nice. Fouzia, you should write something about this. Is a great writing piece.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
amazing.
you.
Sorry I didn't call you last night, but
Yeah.
I spent about an hour with you while driving from Ann Arbor. So much to learn from you that hour and a half. It's amazing
Yeah.
story. Amazing
I
story.
remember.
You should write something. I think it's a worthwhile writing material.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So thank you. I think we're getting close to our time. It was an extremely interesting talk, and I think the only other question that I think I saw in the chat here somewhere, because I already know the answer, I'll let you answer it. How many languages do you speak, and which is your strongest one?
First, in India, we used to speak only Urdu because my grandfather, he was from Hyderabad, Deccan, and he knew, he used to speak only Urdu. So we, in our house, we all used to speak Urdu. After coming East Pakistan, where when I started school, so I have to learn Bengali. Slowly started Bengali. So my brother, when got married, his wife told that no more Urdu in this house, only Bengali, because she don't know Urdu. So we start to speak Bengali, Urdu, Bengali, Spanish, and my English.
Good. Well, you did a great job. So again, thank you so much. Appreciate all the preparation and support for this. It was an extremely interesting story, and I know that the club enjoyed it. Michael,